What's up everybody, welcome back to a brand new video. Now this video is actually going to be, I've kind of teased about it in many previous videos, I would say about a year or so ago, and that topic is my actual school journey. I'm not going to talk about high school and I'm not going to talk about middle school because frankly,
that was about 10 years ago.
I kind of sound extremely old when I actually say that or refer to me being in middle school and high school. This is actually going to be about my journey in college as well as transferring from community college to the four-year school that I'm at right now. This is just going to be a breakdown of year to year, so it's not going to be any of the classes that I took. It's going to talk about the amount of classes as well as me transferring or transitioning from being both a community college student to transferring to traditional school. But I'm not going to go in depth sort of like what classes I took, such as computers, math, reading, or any of that other fun stuff. I'm pretty sure none of that stuff is kind of fun unless you actually just want to graduate or if you're catered to a certain major. But this is just going to be breaking down into 4 different sections, which are going to be my freshman year, my sophomore year, my junior year, and last but not least in the present, which is actually my senior year. So with that being said, let's get right into the video. This is just going to be my personal experience, and this is very catered towards just my own journey as well. Like I said earlier, everybody has a different, I'm waiting for that car to pass. Like I said earlier, this is just my personal journey and also the route that I decided to take when I actually graduated high school. I know a lot of people either go to trade school or they go to a whole four-year school rather than going to community college, but this is the route that I actually took, and I just want to share to anybody that I feel might either take the same route or don't know where they might be going, and this might be an option for them in the future. So with that being said, let's get right into freshman year. Freshman year, I am going to be completely and brutally honest with everybody that actually clicked on this video. I did not know where I was going to go for school. June rolled over. I graduated, I would say the first or second week of June in, I think, 2018. And I actually had no idea where I was going to go. I think I applied to 4 in-state schools, 4 out-of-state schools, and I remember I applied to 2 private schools. I think it was either 2 or 3. Now that I actually think about it, I only applied to maybe 2 or 3 private schools. I applied to about 8 to 11 different private schools or public schools in general. 4 were in-state, 4 were out-of-state. I didn't get into any of the in-state schools except for the private school that I actually applied to, as well as the school that I'm at right now. I got rejected because I remember my GPA was about a 2.7 or a 2.6. I know my freshman and sophomore year weren't the best when it came to both grading or when it came to just putting the time in, but in all honesty, I really don't care as much because it really didn't affect me as a person. It didn't affect what I've done with my life for the last 4 to 5 years. It's just a number on a piece of paper. There are different schools that have a different grading system unless you're going to an Ivy League school and you feel that that's the sort of path that you're going to take. Personally, I don't feel like a GPA is sort of the best grading scale. When it comes to somebody's intelligence, I don't think a grade point average is the best sort of scale when it comes to testing somebody's intelligence in general. Now, freshman year, I took 5 to 6 classes. Don't ask me why. When it came to both high school and college, I did not know, and it punched me in the face when I actually had my very first week of school. I was so used to having maybe 6 to 7 classes each and every single day, have a set schedule, get up at 8 o'clock and leave at 3 o'clock. When it came to just going day by day in high school, I thought I could actually transition that into college. I am extremely terrible when it came to that because I started with 8 a.m. classes. Tip: don't take 8 a.m. classes.
I'm saving your life right now if you're an incoming freshman for any sort of college or any sort of university.
I took 8 a.m.s and I didn't leave campus until 6 o'clock every single day for an entire 4 to 5 months. Not only did I get burnt out, I didn't have a car at the time. So it was really difficult for me to both get home as well as have a set schedule because I would either need to carpool with somebody or I would need to hitch a ride with somebody else, surprisingly might live in my area. I actually did fail 3 out of the 5 or 6 classes that I actually took because the workload was getting way too far for me. I didn't feel like I was interested in any of the classes that I took at the time, and I didn't have any advisors, I didn't have any sort of mentors that helped me at the time because it sort of felt like I would just go to class and then I would just leave. I didn't feel engaged. I didn't feel like anything was going to happen in between the time that I actually had classes. So I basically just coasted the entire semester, and that just gave me that honestly just gave me flashbacks a second ago when I just realized I had like a 1.5 GPA in my very first semester. I was actually going to drop out and actually never go back and work full-time at the job that I'm currently working at right now, but because of my advisor, because of a few people and a few mentors that I ran into, they got me the tutors and the help that I actually needed in order to just rebound from having a 1.5 3.7 GPA to having close to about a 3.3 GPA within the span of just about a year or two. Later in freshman year, my grades got a little better. I actually also started experimenting with a lot of online courses so that I can actually graduate on time and get my associate's degree. Going into sophomore year, this is sort of where it comes to a standstill. It was sort of a buffer year for me when it came to sophomore year. It wasn't that difficult. It wasn't that easy. It was sort of just coasting, except I had a lot more people that I actually knew on campus because I've been there for about a year or so. It sort of just came mundane to me. It was just a normal year. It was pretty simple. That's honestly how it was every single day. It really wasn't that difficult as soon as I started getting used to the workload and sort of getting used to the day-by-day experience when it came to being a college student. And after, I would say, about a good semester or two, I was able to not only balance my life and balance sort of a full-time job at the time, I was actually able to boost my GPA when it came time to both applying for graduation and actually getting my full academic transcripts. Junior year, this is actually the tricky part in the entire video. So during sophomore year, I would say the end of sophomore year, which is between February and May and November, when I was actually transferring. So that time was actually when COVID hit. I actually did transfer and I got my associate's degree in the middle of the pandemic. So it was really difficult for both the people that I graduated with, as well as both the advisors, as well as the other schools that I was also applying to at the time, because not only was I accustomed to going to school and then getting everything done, all of that was completely taken away when the pandemic hit. It was sort of difficult to both send transcripts, send letters of recommendation, send anything that I needed to do in order to both apply to other schools as well as graduate to get my associate's degree as well. That was extremely difficult in and of itself, while also making sure that you're healthy, you're staying 6 feet, wearing a mask, and just staying indoors all day. Everything went digital. I know that a lot of people had a lot of difficulties when it came to both digital work as well as having classes online and Zoom. But from my personal experience, I've actually taken online classes since my actual senior year of high school. I actually applied to the community college that I was in. From that, my very first semester, I was able to have an online class. And just having those classes, it actually made life a lot easier. I could get everything done in a timely manner. And if I were done, I would have so much free time that I could actually either work more or do things or do extra hobbies that I felt like could provide me any sort of edge that I wanted in life. Junior year is actually when I transitioned from community college to my actual four-year school that I'm actually at right now. And I would say it was basically the same as my sophomore year, which is sort of mundane. Everything went extremely smooth, even though I was going through a pandemic, or the entire world was going through a pandemic. It seemed pretty normal to me because I've been so accustomed to having online classes and going to Zoom courses or just messaging or video calling my professors, because during my sophomore and freshman year, I either took 3 physical classes and 2 online classes, so it was just a full-time schedule. It was sort of like a hybrid experience when it came to before the pandemic, and then during the pandemic it was just completely online. It was pretty easy, and I was able to actually get honors my actual first year transferring. I know it's a big feat for a lot of people, but it was sort of a big feat because it was the first time I got honors in so many years. Getting honors during the pandemic, it was sort of a great thing that I was able to do. Not only was I able to graduate, but I'm sort of bursting my own bubble, and I'm sort of like giving myself a pat on the back. Got my associate's degree. I was able to graduate, which is basically the same thing. I transferred as smoothly as I possibly could during the pandemic, and I also got honors. The very first semester, I was able to actually transfer to my new university. Honestly, it's still going smoothly. I don't have that many problems, other than every once in a while I get a bad professor, or every once in a while I get a professor that's
extremely boring.
I really don't have anything to gripe about. I don't have anything to complain about. My experience was extremely smooth when it came to both the things that were happening in the real world as well as the things that were happening in my personal life. Now we're going to senior year. That's kind of boring. I'm just trying to get everything done. I'm trying to get all my credits and all my classes done right now so I can actually get my bachelor's degree and be completely done with everything, because that was the actual goal. Obviously, going to university, your goal is to get a bachelor's degree or get a master's or just graduate in general. That's the goal right now, and I only have a few more classes and I should be graduating in December at the time of recording or even uploading this video. That's actually my experience when it comes to each and every single year. I know it sounds kind of boring. If I'm being transparent with everybody, it is honestly kind of boring, and it's sort of like just flowing through the day when it came to my personal experience, because everything was so simple when it came to transitioning from both my community college to my four-year school. Not just from the work that I personally did, but also the people that I surrounded myself with, as well as the advisors, the tutors, the mentors that actually made my life a lot easier. I'm telling you this right now, if you guys can get at least one thing from this video, talk to at least 1 to 2 people in every single one of your classes. I'm telling you this right now. If you didn't listen to anything else in this video, my one recommendation is just communicate with your professors, your teachers, whatever you want to call them, your advisors, any other classmates that you have, both inside and outside. Get a group chat or just anything that could help you out, that could give you an advantage or an edge on getting your GPA a lot higher than everybody else that you're surrounding yourself with. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you all in the next video. I need to go edit this.